Have you ever wondered why some people radiate confidence without saying a word? What if everything you thought about confidence, charm, power, dominance was actually just the surface? And what if the real secret to unshakable confidence was hidden in ancient philosophy, waiting for you to uncover? Most of us know someone like that. Someone who walks into a room with a quiet certainty. Someone who seems untouched by doubt or fear. They move through life as if they were born confident, effortlessly fitting society's image of what it means to be self-assured. But when we dig deeper, when we explore the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, a different picture begins to emerge. The Stoics offered a far more profound and nuanced view of confidence, one that wasn't based on appearance or social power, but on inner alignment and purpose. So what did the Stoics truly believe about confidence? Let's unravel this together. Today, the word confidence is used so often that it's almost lost its meaning. We hear it in speeches, see it in self-help books, and watch people perform it online. But to the Stoics, confidence wasn't a mask to impress others. It was something much deeper, something that came from within, tied to our very nature. The Stoics believed that everything in the universe was woven together by fate, a grand design, already in motion. And instead of resisting this order, they found peace and confidence by understanding it and aligning themselves with it. To them, confidence was never about charisma or control. It was about understanding yourself, accepting what's beyond your control, and acting in harmony with nature. Take Epictetus, for example. Born into slavery, he rose to become one of the most respected Stoic philosophers. His strength didn't come from external achievements, but from an inner conviction that his mind and reasoning were his true power. He refused to let his circumstances shape his spirit. For Epictetus, confidence was the result of mastering his reactions, not changing his conditions. Then there's Seneca, a man exiled from Rome, later forced to take his own life. Yet in his darkest moments, Seneca turned to writing and self-reflection. His letters to his friend Lucilius still echo today, reminding us that confidence is born not from certainty, but from clarity. He embraced life's unpredictability and used every hardship as fuel for growth. He spoke of the shortness of life, the illusion of fame, and the vital importance of knowing oneself. You may be asking, how did the Stoics maintain such steady confidence? The answer lies in their mindset. They didn't pretend to have all the answers. They simply accepted that they didn't need them. Life is uncertain, but our response? That's always within our power. Their strength was also shaped by their reflections on death, a practice known as memento mori. At first glance, this might seem like a grim ritual, but to the Stoics, remembering mortality gave them courage. By acknowledging the brevity of life, they gained the power to live fully, boldly, intentionally. Consider Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, a Stoic thinker, a man who endured war, plague, and profound personal loss. Yet in his private journal, what we now call meditations, he remained calm, thoughtful, and strong. He famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoics also turned to nature for lessons. They saw trees that bent with the wind, yet stood tall, flexible, resilient, and strong. To them, this was the essence of confidence, not fighting the storm, but adapting to it with grace. And that's the shift we're invited to make. True Stoic confidence isn't loud. It doesn't boast. It flows from a quiet inner knowing, a steady trust in what we can control, and peace with what we can't. But how can we apply this ancient wisdom to our modern lives? That's what we'll explore next, as we dive deeper in the upcoming section. To carry forward the Stoic idea of confidence, we must understand it's not something you're either born with or without. It's not reserved for the few. It's a muscle, And like any muscle, it must be exercised, intentionally, consistently, and with care. The Stoics knew this well. Their confidence wasn't spontaneous. It was cultivated through disciplined daily practices, journaling their thoughts, meditating on their actions, and engaging in Socratic dialogue that challenged their thinking. This wasn't just routine. It was training for the soul. Another core lesson from the Stoics was their complete dismissal of external validation. While modern society often links confidence with applause, success, or trophies, the Stoics saw things differently. They believed that the pursuit of public approval leads to emptiness. True confidence, they taught, comes from living according to your inner values, not the shifting standards of the crowd. Take the example of Chrysippus, one of Stoicism's most influential thinkers. As the head of the Stoic school in Athens, he didn't chase popularity. Instead, he emphasized the use of logic and virtue, urging his students to build their confidence not on praise, but on knowledge and ethical living. In doing so, he laid the foundation for a confidence that is authentic and enduring. Another fascinating figure was Cato the Younger. In a society where fashion symbolized class and dignity, Cato deliberately wore mismatched clothing, robes that clashed in color and style. Why? Because he wanted to test his own sense of embarrassment. He wanted to stand firm in his beliefs, even when others stared or laughed. For him, confidence wasn't about looking powerful, it was about being anchored in principle. And here's something we often overlook. Stoic confidence was deeply tied to vulnerability. Yes, vulnerability. To admit your weaknesses, to accept your flaws, to own your imperfections without shame, that too was strength. It's not about being flawless, it's about being real. Failure, to the Stoics, was never a verdict. It was simply part of the journey. Every stumble was an opportunity to grow. Consider Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. When he lost all his possessions in a shipwreck, he didn't spiral into despair. Instead, he saw it as a turning point, a strange kind of gift. He once said, "Fortune has taken away my possessions, but she has given me Zeno." That loss led him to philosophy, and through that, to legacy. The Stoics didn't just talk about mental strength, they trained for it. Just as athletes build physical endurance, Stoics practiced mental endurance. One of their core techniques was premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. They would imagine what could go wrong, not to fear it, but to face it head-on. In doing so, they built inner resilience. They became mentally prepared for life's inevitable storms. But Stoic confidence also rested on one powerful insight: the impermanence of all things. Everything changes, everything fades, and this wasn't a source of sorrow, it was a source of peace. When you realize how fleeting life is, you stop clinging, you act with intention, you stop delaying what matters, and you face uncertainty with calm, not fear. There's one more often overlooked dimension: community. Stoics believed in cosmopolitanism, the idea that all human beings belong to one global community, that we are all citizens of the world. This gave them strength. They didn't feel isolated in their pursuit of virtue. They stood on the shoulders of those who came before them and walked beside others on the same path. In that shared journey, they found collective confidence. And now, let me ask you, how confident are you? Imagine, just for a moment, that you're sitting among Stoic philosophers in the Agora. Their eyes sharp, their minds still, their words filled with quiet conviction. You can almost hear them ask, and that's exactly where we'll go next, into the heart of their questions, their reflections, and how they used dialogue to sharpen their understanding of life. Let's continue. As we reflect on Stoic confidence and the quiet strength that comes from within, we arrive at a powerful point of introspection: the art of questioning ourselves. The Stoics didn't just teach, they questioned constantly. They turned their gaze inward and asked tough, honest questions. And through those questions, they uncovered deeper truths about who they were and how they faced life. Here are 3 essential questions they might have posed to test the integrity of their confidence. Do I derive my self-worth from within, or am I still chasing approval from others? Can I face uncertainty without fear, accepting that while I can't control all outcomes, I can control how I respond? When I encounter obstacles, do I see them as threats or as invitations to grow stronger? Take a moment. Let those questions settle. These aren't meant just for ancient philosophers. They're for you and for me. They're a mirror, meant to reflect, not judge. Because at its core, Stoic confidence isn't about acting invincible or pretending to have it all together. It's not a performance. It's about knowing yourself, your values, your principles, and standing firm when everything around you feels uncertain or unstable. The Stoics taught us that resilience, not perfection, is the true sign of strength. To be willing to grow through pain, to welcome discomfort as a path to wisdom, and to find courage, not in applause, but in silence. Their version of confidence had nothing to do with image, and everything to do with inner alignment. It was rooted in the belief that our worth is not dictated by what happens to us, but by how we choose to respond, the actions we take, the virtues we uphold, the clarity we maintain in the chaos. Let's aim to cultivate that kind of confidence, one that doesn't live on the surface but pulses from the core of who we are, one that doesn't fear life's unpredictability but walks with it, step by step, breath by breath. As Seneca so wisely said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. So, embrace the hardships, accept the imperfections. Don't run from the storm, stand in it, learn from it. Because confidence, real confidence, is not about looking fearless. It's about becoming unshaken even when fear is present. And that's the quiet power of Stoicism. It doesn't just give us answers. It invites conversation. So tell me, what resonated with you today? What part of this reflection stirred something in you? Drop a comment below. I genuinely want to hear your thoughts. And if this message lit a spark in you, pass it on. Like, share, or send it to a friend who could use some inner strength today. And hey, if you've stayed with us this far, I know you're someone who seeks depth. Why not take the next step? Join our Telegram group, where we dive deeper into Stoic thought, personal growth, and daily reflections that keep us grounded. Oh, and there's another video coming up on your screen. It's packed with insight you won't want to miss. Click it now. Let's keep walking this path together.